Hey, I was calling to tell you something important. Kason told me to put red eyeliner on my waterline. I kind of like it. And Kason called and was like, I want to go somewhere and do something this afternoon. I'm bored. This is after church. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And Kason was like, I don't know, maybe go to a couple stores. And of course, Lyd was like, oh yeah, let's go. So we went. Every place I went to, Ulta, Hibbett, Target, TJ Maxx. Did we go somewhere else? I can't remember. A lady stopped me and told me her story. And more importantly, she was like, thank you for sharing your healing journey. And I was just going to talk to you about it. 4 women, I kid you not. And you can share your healing journey without airing out all your dirty laundry. You can. And last week Ben preached at church, you can't heal what you don't reveal. And that really resonated with me because as a child, I bottled everything up. I would not talk about how I was feeling. I would not talk about anything. And then it'd get to the point where I would just have a breakdown and explode. You know, that bottle was getting too full and it would just come out. And sometimes it'd come out on people that it didn't deserve to come out on. So I'm going to remind that to you. You cannot heal what you don't reveal, because when you start revealing that, then you start accepting it. And you start saying, this is what I've been through. This is what happened. Now let's work through the steps that we can get to it. Also, you need somebody on your team. It's not good to always be by yourself. And it's not good not to have no one. You got to have somebody to talk to. I know sometimes we want to keep our circle small. And we want our circle so small it's a dot. And the dot is just us. Do you know why we want that circle so small and just a dot? Because we've been hurt so much in our life that we don't trust no one, we don't have faith in anyone, and the only person we can probably depend on is ourselves. And then we become hyper independent, we overanalyze everything, we are paranoid, and we don't trust people, and it's not good for us. There are still some good people out there. I promise you, there are still some good people out there. And when I started going through everything I started going through, and if you follow me, you know last year before all this happened, I said, you know what? I feel like the Lord is taking me in a different direction somewhere else. I feel like it's about to be a pruning season. And I started telling y'all then that I started praying, Lord, remove anything that is blocking my path with you, that is not bringing me closer to you. And I had no idea that everything in that old life would be removed. No idea. But it was. But he removed so much, but he replaced it with so many good, positive people around me that have really, really been a blessing to me. And I'm glad that in that moment I was vulnerable enough to open up to a couple of my friends to allow them to get close to me and help me get through this process. I feel like sometimes some people, and a few people that I've talked to have told me this. They're like, I went through this and this and this is how I feel. I feel like some people mourn while they're still in things sometimes. And I feel like sometimes when we remove ourselves from a situation, we feel like I'm not hurt enough. I went through all this. Why do I not hurt more than what I hurt now? And I think it's because sometimes when you're in something that is hurting your heart so bad, you mourn while you're in it. And when you break away from it, it's like cutting off that moldy part of cheese. You know what I'm saying? You're cutting off that bad part and it's starting to look a little better, you know? And it's going to hurt. No matter if you need to leave a situation or not, it's going to hurt. If my leg is amputated, the pain will probably stop once the leg is cut off, right? All that past pain and the infection and the reason I need my leg cut off, right? If it's amputated, it's going to get feeling better. But my body's still going to miss it. You know what I'm saying? I talked to my therapist on Friday. We meet every Friday. And then I do Al-Anon classes. Al-Anon classes are for people that, known people through addiction or whatever. And, I told her, I said, my biggest problem is I'm waiting for a shoe to fall. Not a literal shoe. I've been through so much in my life. So much. So much. I said, when things start going good, I feel like I don't deserve it. I feel like something bad is about to happen. I'm not worthy of this. And I said, I know better, but I still feel like that. And she said, we have to our brain. She said there are different parts of your life that are like classical conditioning, like the dog with the bell in psychology, that condition our brain to feel a certain way and act a certain way. So she was like, we have to your brain. And she said, whatever. We talk about more things than just my past marriage. We talk about my whole life. So, for example, if I'm telling her something that my friend Sabrina did, okay? And I said, Sabrina did this. Sabrina really hurt me. And I think this is why I act the way I do from this situation with Sabrina. She said, we have to Sabrina your brain. Because even though you've been away from Sabrina, your brain still has that classical conditioning inside of it. And you're still reacting to that past trauma and that stuff. Even though you don't miss the situation or you want to go back to the situation and you feel happy you're not in it, sometimes your body and your mind has a reaction because there's some new patterns that you have to relearn. So I'm just encouraging you that if you are afraid to share your story, you can share your story and you can share your healing journey without completely airing out all the dirty laundry, okay? Because don't nobody know. There's lots of things lots of people don't know. I've not even said or talked about it, but I can tell you my healing journey on it, okay? And there's a difference in talking when you're healing and talking when you're angry. There's a difference in talking about it because you're mad and you're frustrated and you want to hurt somebody else with it, and talking about it when you're like, look, this is how we're going to move forward. This is how I can help you move forward. So to any woman or man, men get hurt too. Men go through the same thing that you go through and I go through. There's light on the other side. There's light on the other end of the tunnel. And there are times that I've sat here and I felt like I'm not sad enough. I'm not mad enough. I'm not upset enough. Shouldn't I be more upset? But a lot of times when we're in a situation, we know long before that situation ends that we don't need to be in it. And some people grieve while they're in it and they mourn while they're in it, and their mindset when they're getting out of it has already made that transition a long time ago. Okay, so this is a long video. I may just transcribe this and add it to the podcast too. I love you. I got to go in here in Ingles. I'm actually waiting out here because I'm getting something from Facebook Marketplace from my son. He's putting a transmission in his truck. He's driving my other car right now, but it's gonna be all right. Okay, bye.